but I can't see what people see.
You can't see what the chat says. Yeah. Hello,
Oh
chat.
no, I can't see what. I can just see me on a facing them off.
Hold on. Can you? Oh no, you don't want to see that. I think we're live now, by the way, and I think I'm just thinking to myself, is that bad today? I'm just thinking to myself,
I don't care.
We'll just
Whatever.
well, let's see if you can see this.
Yes.
Can you see that? Good,
Yeah.
good. That wasn't working before. I don't know why. Hello, everybody. That is the behind the scenes. That's the behind the scenes. Welcome, one. Welcome all. This is White Noise with my good pal Brownie. And we are back. We are going to change it, and we've decided this, haven't we, Brownie? Because I think it's better with DB that we get him on Sundays. I quite like his rawness when it comes to Leeds, when it's closer to the game as well. I feel like with Tuesday, he's been able to
Simmer down.
Simmer down a bit. Yeah, I need him. I need him closer to the game. So, guys, you know as well, Hardline will be being moved as well, and Gabe's going through a little bit at the minute. So send your best regards to him as well. And we'll try cheer you up. I don't know how much cheering up there's going to be on this. I had probably the biggest rant I've had for about 40 minutes on the last one. Biggest rant of the season. I'd say, Brownie, probably the biggest rant since maybe a year and a bit ago, I'd say. But, yeah.
I feel like we've been here before with Nottingham Forest away.
Yeah, it happens
Feels
a lot,
like
doesn't
deja
it?
vu.
Yeah, it does. We just don't have Luke Ayling. We don't have Luke Ayling this time, do we?
I'm just waiting for Luke Ayling to appear, looking like he was going to jump off at Trent Bridge.
Right. I don't know where to start. I don't want to go through. I don't want to go through the. I don't want to go through the goals too much because I think it's pretty pointless to do so. To be honest.
You know what? Can I just say?
Go on.
I'm going to sound like FARKE here. At the time, second goal,
not a good idea.
No, I couldn't care less. It's just not their free kick.
Yeah, ref was poor, wasn't it?
And I know we've got bigger problems. I know that. I'm not saying that. Oh, that was the. But that is a big moment.
Yeah, he was poor, the ref. Yeah, I said it on
I'm not
the
even
reaction.
having I'm not even having the penalty either. I feel like Hutchinson's tripped himself up.
Yeah, I thought he was going to wave it off, to be honest. I thought he was going to wave it off.
I just don't know where to go with it, man. I'll be honest.
I should have had a list there, shouldn't I? So you see the starting 11. You are, I think at the minute, you're a bit confused, and this is why it's quite good to have you on here, because we had a show earlier on, and there was, I did not expect that. I didn't expect I put out there, they were all saying to me, Conor, put a poll out. And I thought, right, okay, I'll put a poll out. And it said, FARKE in, FARKE out. Where are you?
It's after a defeat like that.
Always emotional. Always emotional. I tell you what, though, Brownie, I will say, though, like, if it was ever, I think a lot of them can be, I wouldn't have got the tone. I wouldn't have done it. If I didn't feel like there was a massive shift in the chat after this Forest game, and it was resounding. It was near 90% out, and I know you're not on that, and maybe I'm a little bit Geneva with it, and I'll get tarred with that brush a little bit, and I am Geneva with it. Sometimes I just have faith that he can adapt. We both said that. We both said he can adapt. I understand it's not all FARKE's fault. Completely understand that. I also acknowledge that when it comes to the 49ers, are there bits they could have done 100%, and you got to acknowledge that as well. Brownie. Brownie, I am looking at him though sometimes with some of these decisions in match, and I'm struggling. I really am.
I think anybody would struggle with this set of players, if I'm being totally honest. We said at the start of the season we've got one of the worst squads in the league. So I'm confused at why now people are now just grasping that. Our squads, in comparison to the rest of the league, is honking. We were playing with 10 men and a charity winner, a raffle winner every week. Like, I tweeted it out after the game. I feel like we're going to war using water pistols, and that is not on FARKE. He was very public, by the way, in the transfer window, saying we needed more. He wanted more. he wanted this, he wanted that, and wasn't given it. So if we were to make a change today,
Yeah.
I don't think anybody's getting a better tune. Like, if we make a change today, you look at the fixtures coming up: Villa, City, Liverpool, Chelsea. Are we expecting points now? Then
I would look at it and I would say, right, when we go up against, I think there's a way. Me and you spoke about this in pre-season, right? And we said that there's a way Leeds have clearly recruited, right? Thomas Frank had said earlier on that there's a way to play in the Premier League. There's a way you recruit for athleticism, physicality. Leeds make it hard. You look at a recent example of Luton in the Premier League. They probably did the best in the Premier League because they really, really laid into the physicality, the set pieces. And we looked at that Leeds squad and how it was constructed. And you think to yourself, right, that's where we're going to go. I don't understand why we're continuously playing out from the back. I don't get it.
we're not good enough to do that.
What, to
We're
lump it
not.
long?
We're not good enough to play out from the back. We're not good
No,
enough to lump it long. You say about physicality and that, but I look at our team and I don't see it. We lose countless duels. We lose countless balls into our box. Okafor isn't a beast. Brendan Aronson is about as useful as a McDonald's straw. Like, I genuinely don't see physicality in that team. How many headers do we lose in our box?
I think that's
I'm sick of seeing their strikers having or anybody having a free header in our 6 yard box. How many goals can you put to that? I'm not blaming Goodmanson, but a hell of a lot of our goals come down the left hand side for whatever reason. Both of them today came from the left hand side. I think back to our recent games, they're all coming down that side. Why is that?
there's a pattern with cutbacks, I think. Massive pattern. They're cutbacks every time.
Crosses into the box. I mean, I just don't. I genuinely, like I said at the start of that little segment, no matter who you put in charge, we're not suddenly then going to go pick up points against Villa, Liverpool, Chelsea, City.
I think you
Our
can.
squad is just not. Our squad is just not good enough. And to be out of the relegation zone after what we played now, 11 games, I think it's a miracle.
Really?
I genuinely think it's a miracle we're out at the bottom with what
So,
we've got.
so
So
what's
you're telling me that? So where are we? 16th.
Yeah.
Are you telling me that there's 4 worse squads than ours?
I think it's interesting when like we're looking at that because I've seen a lot of it online. I'm looking at Burnley away, and I'm thinking we should get something there. I'm thinking at Forest. I'm thinking Brighton. I'm thinking, look, they're better teams than us. Of course they are. But I'll be honest, Brownie, I think there's a waving of the white flag from a lot of the fan base already that we can't do anything. Well, the squad's crap. We'll just give up now. Let's just go home. Let's take our toys and go home.
I
I just,
agree.
I,
I
but
agree.
I just think to myself, there's a way. You're a manager. You're a coach. There's a way when you're an underdog, you play against these sides. You don't play against these sides for me in a way of which is what their advantages are. Which is I thought today, mate. I don't know if you thought this, but when you're watching it, I think as soon as you're playing out from the back, there's an instruction from any Premier League boss for the opposition to get higher, and they're robbing us continuously. And I just think to myself, there's got to be a strategy there of which you mitigate against that. I mean, I'm looking at you playing out from the back. If you're playing out from the back, should Strout not start? If you're playing out from the back, should Tanaka not start? If you're playing long ball and a little bit more direct and quicker, then you put on Longstaff and then you put on your big boys, your Beals and all this sort of stuff. There's a way of playing if that's your style of play. Brownie, I think there's a disconnect. I think from top down, there's a disconnect. I think we've recruited for a way of which encompasses long ball, but then I'm not sure that is the manager's philosophy. And we saw that last year when we'd have so much possession of the ball. FARKE has said in every single press conference, we've had this amount of possession. But I think there's a way, Brownie, in football, and you'll know this now with how football's changing back around again to what it maybe once was early noughties. There's a way of which you can create chances and not have possession. There's a way that you can still be in control of football games without having the ball. It doesn't feel like we master that whatsoever. And I'm just worried, mate, that we're not hard to beat at all anymore. And I think at points this season, mate, I think we've been hard to beat at points. Newcastle, Bournemouth, Everton. I think we have been hard to beat. I think it's just gone.
Yeah, I agree. Like the last couple, we talk about it's just been our attacking deficiency, and teams are struggling to create chances. I felt today that We could have been out of sight by half time. It could have been 3 or 4. At half time, the game could have been done.
Oh, to Forest.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
felt like Forest
yeah.
absolutely battered us first half, and the game could have been gone. So, like, you look at the first 9 games where it felt like we were hard to beat, but the last couple of games we've shipped 6 goals,
I know.
which coincides with BL coming into the team, by the way, which everybody was clamouring for.
Hmm.
I,
Do you,
I,
do you
I,
think do you think there's a style of play though, mate? Do you think there's a bit of a style of play, a bit of a problem with us consistently playing out from the back and getting caught? Do you think there's problems there?
Yeah, I just don't think we're good enough. The players aren't good. It's a complete. I've said this time and time. I remember when we got relegated, and remember when me and you had that debate about, oh, we're not good enough to come up, won't come back up. And I said we are, because the gap between the Premier League and the Championship is huge in quality.
Yeah.
That the players, when they drop down the league, when you saw last year, similar players, 100 points. The gap's massive. I think there's something in what you've said. The players that we've recruited don't fit how Fark wants to play.
Yeah.
But I
Yeah.
will say, which has surprised me, at 1-1, in that second half, at one point, it looked like we were the only team that were going to go and win it.
Do you know, like when do you say? I mean, we saw this last year, and we can almost legislate for it a little bit. But you know, when we're doing the thing, mate, where you've got Nottingham Forest. Can you see the screen now? Can you see it fully? No, you can't. You'll be able to see this anyway. But there's a graph going around which I kept showing today where it was basically like the directness and the speed of directness.
I've seen it.
And
I've seen it.
Leeds are bottom in the division by a long way. And you look at sort of Sunderland and Burnley, who obviously are not, technically great sides when it comes to the rest of the Premier League in terms of like caliber of player, and they're top
Yeah.
or they're near the top. And I would look at that and I'd think, and do you know what, mate? I think a lot of the time when the ball is put up top and you get a Metcher or you get a DCL and it sticks to them, I've said this before and it's a broken record, but we don't have players in and around the second balls around Metcher and DCL. I think that's instruction, to be honest with you. If David Brown's saying to me as Conor McGilligan, Conor, I need you in the round as the number 8. Anytime the ball gets played to that striker, we'll have covering bodies in behind you. You're off the second touch every single time. And there's not an instruction there. He's completely isolated every game.
There was a time in the game today, Goodmanson got the ball deep and ended up in their penalty box.
Yeah,
It was an unbelievable run down the left-hand side. He cut it back. We had 2 in the box.
I know. Yeah, we were saying it. Yeah.
We had 2 in the box. And listen, last year, as you know, I backed Fark all the way.
Sounds like you still do, mate.
I always said it was mind-numbingly boring to watch.
Yeah, you've never been a fan of the style, have you?
No, it was mind-numbingly boring to watch last year. I've openly said that. But it was a results business, and we were getting results after result after result. This year, we were never going to be getting result after result after result after result. And I think he, with hindsight, did he know that? Is that why in the transfer window he was so vocal about wanting more? This is where, like you've said, the away end was pretty split. There were boos, there were claps, there was a bit of discount. I just don't know which way to go with it. I genuinely.
I think we're good enough to finish 17th. I think we're good enough to finish 17th.
Which we're above.
Yeah. No, that's what I'm saying.
This is where I'm at. Like, we've not once been in the bottom 3. Our squad should be in the bottom 3.
It will be, though, Brownie.
And we've not once been in it.
It will be. Very soon.
Well, if it is, it is.
Yeah. I think we know it will be.
Currently, we've not been in the bottom 3 once. And I believe that the squad should be in the bottom 3 with what it is. So that's why I'm a bit. Yeah, there's like the substitutions at the end of today. Harrison on for Goodmanson and Beale swaps with Strong.
Mad.
Didn't get it. Didn't understand it. Mad. Don't get what we're doing. It felt like a bit like I said a few weeks ago when Tanaka came on late against Bournemouth and he messed up and they scored. It felt like I've got to get him on this pitch here just to make him a little bit happier that Strike's not played for. I need to get him on pitch somehow. It just felt like a sub for the sake of a sub.
I want to ask you something. And it's a direct. Go on, mate.
Just before that, so then you can throw things at him with them. Absolutely. On the flip side, I don't like. We saw the team today, and you think instantly. I thought, Jesus, we're going to be up against it today. I instantly thought we're not getting anything when I saw the team.
I think he's left Nonto home.
Questions need to be asked on that because, like I said, we're playing with a raffle winner on the right wing. But I genuinely don't know what else he can do to change the team to make it better
You,
with what's at his disposal.
like you just said, Nonso.
That's the one.
Yeah.
So you put Nonto in Farrington, do we win that game then?
Okay, right.
And I still don't think we do. So that's why I'm a bit like, what can he do with what he's got?
But would you concede that? Look, like how I look at it, and maybe I'm wrong here. Maybe I'm wrong. If you're playing out from the back, play your best ball playing centre back, the midfielder who's the best on the ball, and bring your right winger in, who we all want to see a front three of him, and maybe Okafor on the right
And
side.
that's why I'm so in between, because stuff like that is completely makes sense. The substitutions don't get them. But rewind a week, he made subs early at Brighton, and we got absolutely dismantled from when he made the subs.
Yeah.
So 1 week it's you got to make the subs earlier, i.e. today, while we wait until the 71st minute. When he does make the subs earlier, it goes from us being in a game to game gone. So
do you think we were in it last week, though? Do you think we're in it?
we're still in it at 1-0. You're in any game at 1-0.
True. Yeah, optics wise, true.
Yeah.
True.
Like, they were completely better than us, but at 1-0, anything can happen.
Yeah.
You met the subs, were wide open. Like, he takes off, he took Tanaka and Langstaff off, I think. Two midfielders, completely, game gone. So then the week after, we're at Forest, he leaves the subs. He should have met him earlier. I just don't think he can win. I genuinely don't. And I think that goes right back to pre-season where everybody wanted him out. Genuinely don't think he can win. But I'm not saying he should still be in a job. I'm saying he was up against it from June. People throwing the Norwich record at him, this, that, and the other. I've never known a manager win a league and have to come out talking about whether he's staying in a job. So
you don't think this is the here and now, though? It's the here and now.
I think it's inevitable what's going to happen. So you put in a plaster over a stab wound. To be honest,
should it happen?
It will happen. Would it happen if he'd have had the players he wanted? Probably not. Would we be in a position that we are? But we'd have all took 16th at the start of the season after 11 games. So that's why I'm so confused. I'm confused with it. I don't know which way to go because.
So are you confused with it, or are you confused on people's perceptions of it?
I'm confused. I get both sides of it. I get both sides of it completely. And that's not me sitting on the fence. I'm just saying me and you, Connor, when we did a show in the summer, if I'd have said to you going into the international break in November, we're 16th, you'd have snapped my hand off at it.
Yeah, I would.
We're going into the international break 16th. But that's why I'm.
But you can also understand that there's a worrying trend right now. You've said it yourself. There's a leaking of goals. There's problems everywhere. You don't know his best team. There's issues. Something's going on with Nonso Brownie. I'm convinced of it. Something's going on. He's been fit for 3 weeks. 2 weeks he's not been selected in the squad, and he's got Harrison and James and Aronson as his wingers. Brownie, that's what he selected for his bench.
Yeah, and then how big a chance do you think the Bogle one was today?
Oh God, you're gonna have to. I'm trying to think of it now. Go on, remind me.
1-1, second half. It's cut across the box. He's 6 yards out.
Yeah,
he stabs it wide.
Yeah.
I don't think we're having this conversation if we come away. I know we haven't come away winners.
It's results based, though, isn't it? It's results based.
And that's what I've said. Last year, it was getting away with it because we were winning. It was mind-numbingly boring to watch. This year, we were never going to be winning every game.
I understand that. I understand that.
And my confusion comes from the fact I would have been skipping for joy at being 16th going into the November international break. 100% I'd have took it, dealt, sailed off into the sunset in November with that. And that's where we're at. We are 60. So do you see my point? Do you see what I'm trying? Is he making right decisions? No.
Form table right down there as well. We know the next 5 are going to be ridiculously difficult as well. And I think he'll have the job. By the way, I think he'll be in the job. I think he'll be in the job for the next 5. The next 5.
I think it makes no sense to change it now. Yeah. You're getting no manager bounce going into them 4 games. People saying, "Oh, they've got the international break to bed." No, they haven't, because all the players go all over the place. International break, you barely see any of your players. It makes no sense to do it going into them run of 4 games, because what happens? You're going to get a Postecoglou situation. You're going to get a manager coming in, losing 4 games, and then everybody wants him out straight away.
But then you're not just delaying the inevitable.
If you were going to sack him in November when he's doing the job that you wanted him to do, keep you out of the relegation zone, you may have sacked him in the summer. I don't see any benefit of doing it now.
I wanted 3 points against Burnley, a point against Brighton, and a point against Forest. I think that would have been realistic.
Is a point at home to Newcastle really? I just don't know which. I think the Brighton one's unrealistic since we haven't scored there since 1935.
But you're not basing that on previous though. Like this is a new. It's a new team, innit? It's a new team. It's new Leeds. It's not what we were under bloody, McDermott going to Brighton or whatever.
Brighton were head and shoulders above us in every position last week.
They were
every position. So how is it realistic to say we need a point there?
But it sounds like, and I heard this a lot through the week, that Forest were too good for us. Everyone's too good for us. We can't do anything.
Our squad isn't as good as any. Our squad is better than Forest.
It's not better, but we can nick a point at Forest. We can nick 3 points at Forest.
We nearly did. We should have gone 2-1 up.
We should have. Aren't going to keep us up, is it? You know what I mean?
It's not. You're right, but when we did our prediction, did you still think Forest are going to finish bottom 3? Because I don't.
No, I don't think they are. But
they're in a false position because they've had 3 managers.
So who can we beat then? Because it sounds like everybody apart from Burnley, we should be, and we've lost to them as well.
They've all got to come to us. Our home form's completely different to away form, which is a thing across the Premier League, by the way. If you've got the Premier League away table up, there's 6 teams that have got more points per game in the whole league away from home. It's a bizarre thing that's going on with away games this season, but nobody's getting points away from home this season. Not just us. It's systematic across the league. If you got the away league table up, we've just got to carry on winning games of football at home, which we have been doing.
I think we're going to need a bit more than that this year.
We will.
Yeah,
You're right.
I think we'll need more. We'll need more than just winning at home, and it's a lot of pressure. It's a hell of a lot of pressure on the home form.
Of course it is. Of course it is. This is not me saying that everything's sound. I'm saying we're in the position that we would have all agreed to have been in at the start of the season. And I'll take pelters for it as much as you want. I don't care. We are. Will we be in 4 games' time? Probably not.
So what are we talking about then? It's like
I'm just saying it's pointless getting rid of him now. What is a new manager going to get from City, Liverpool, Chelsea, Villa? I think
first game back to Villa,
who've just smashed Bournemouth 4-0.
Yep. Well, we're gonna have to.
You're also right, because we can't keep writing games off. We can't keep saying we can't get points here, we can't get points there. Realistically, we're always needing to get points against teams that we're going to be down there.
And I think we've seen that. We've seen it against us, haven't we? We've seen it against us in the Championship, where you get inferior teams, managers. We all know the managers who used to come up against. So let's say Eustace, Sheehan last year for Swansea. They make it difficult. There's a game plan. Brownie, I can predict what lineup, exactly how Leeds are going to set up every single week. I know exactly what we're going to do. If I can do it, a dumbass on the couch. You know what I mean? Watching football games. How on earth Premier League managers are going to be picking Daniel Farke apart? How is that?
I've said
Willie Gnonto has been left at home, Brownie.
I've said this with my brother, so we predict the starting 11 and we get it right a lot. Like I've said, if we're getting it right, that gives the opposition a whole week to work on how we're going to play. There is no adaptability. It's one way.
That's a problem, Brownie.
Oh, of course it is. I'm a big believer in, I know people have philosophies, but you've got to change the way you play when you're going up against different types of teams. 100%.
And I think it's what like we were saying earlier on, when he's bringing Harrison on for Goodmanson. It can't happen. And you're doing that. And that says to me, Brownie, I'm watching it and I'm going, so for 3 weeks, you've said Gnonto's fit. And you actively want Jack Harrison in that team, because we all know he brings Jack Harrison on at certain points to maybe manage games or to bring him on to influence games. Gabby Goodmanson is better going backwards and better going forward with Jack Harrison. So what are we?
Yeah, I said that at the start. Like I liked the Calvert-Lewin, James, and Pirou triple sub. I thought, do you know what? I don't mind that. At least we're gonna have a go, and we did. For that 10 to 15 minutes after we made them 3 subs, there was a stat that came up that we were 75% possession, loads more shots.
He just spaffed over that.
What if we'd have won? Of course we would. That because I'm a
No,
Leeds
not
United
us.
fan.
Not us. FARKE with the possession.
Oh, right, yeah, I see what you mean. No, but it felt like for that period of time, it was all Leeds. Unless I've come from Men in Black and pushed a button, for that 10 or 15 minutes when them 3 subs were made, you could have had Silvestri and Arnett. The ball wasn't at that end of the pitch.
I know, but it's game state, innit? They're at that point, they're 2-1 up. They're managing Leeds a little bit. I think I guess the difference is, Brownie. Why are we not that aggressive on the front foot consistently throughout the games? It's
From the start.
pedestrian.
From the start of the games.
And we've said as well last season sometimes in the championship, and you get away with it in the championship because possession generated chances a lot of the time in the championship. Brownie, how meaningless is some of the possession that we have? How much do we waste on the ball? Where literally you'll get Sangare, Mon Gibbs White. We're not moving them out of position, Brownie. They don't do anything. We just pass the ball within the back remit. You might get Anton Stack coming back, receiving the ball, pass it. And this is what I'm talking about with it going a little bit more direct and us working off that a little bit and working around the big man. There's got to be strategy around it. Otherwise, I keep saying this, just wave that white flag and send us back down to the championship.
Yeah, I mean, first half, I think it was after 2 minutes, Gibbs White picked up the ball in the middle of the pitch and just ran. And I thought, oh dear. And this is the annoying bit. We're playing so defensively. If you look at that starting 11, forgive me if I'm wrong, but you got Numecha and Okafor. The rest are defensively minded. Got 9 players, defensive mindset, and within 2 minutes you've got Gibbs White strolling through the middle of the pitch. That can't happen. That can't happen. So when I was saying maybe I didn't word it right, you know, when I was saying about the Pirou, Dalbert Calvert-Lewin, James substitution, we're on top. Start like that. Go after teams.
Yeah.
Have a go at them.
So that's what I'm saying. Like you know,
this is why I'm torn. This is why I'm so torn, because I still don't think them players are good enough. If we were starting with Joe, no, listen. If we were starting with Joe Pirou,
yeah,
he'd get slaughtered.
No, I know. I don't think he should be starting. No way.
But they're the only players that we can use to change the games. That is how weak our. And I'm not saying Joe Pirou's a weak player, very good footballer, but in the Premier League, nowhere near it. But I like that is our shit.
I like the look of Mecha.
Yeah. So do we go
Great
2
finish.
up top?
Great
do we go
finish.
2 up top? Does he go 2 up top?
What would you do? What would you do as a coach? What would you do to change things?
You know what? I'm stubborn. I'm really stubborn. I've done
like him.
No. If I wanted certain players and certain targets, and I wasn't getting them, I'd have walked.
Mm. But you'd also adapt, because you've adapted before, because I know your coaching career. So you've adapted before in tricky situations, and you've done all right.
Yeah.
When you've been up against it.
Yeah.
I think you bang on with it.
I think stubborn is the right word. He is stubborn, and we said that in the championship.
Yeah.
When we were calling for things to change, it just didn't. But lately, people have called for changes with the goalkeeper. Has that changed anything? Yeah, he made a good double save, but he only dropped one through his legs. I think the first goal, he's parried straight into the 6-yard box.
Yeah, he's had a poor one there.
I think last week, the first goal at Brighton, the one at the away end, I don't know where he's walking to. It looks like he's off for a walk down the beach. People wanted that change. He did it. People wanted Beal in. I'm sorry, but
certain games in it, I think. Certain games.
I was one of them, by the way. I was saying, yeah, we've got Beal sat on the bench, going heads things. We've conceded more goals with him in the team than we did without. It's just frustrating, and I think we need to go back to doing these shows on a Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday when I've slept 3 or 4 times, because it's just like.
I remember. Do you remember this with the debrief? Where we'd just be getting mullered under Bielsa, and people think you're just clear of thought all the time.
I'm glad you brought him up.
There we go.
Because everybody wanted him out.
No, I wanted him out.
No, you weren't alone.
Yeah.
Everybody was saying his time's enough. He's been found out.
Yeah.
He hadn't. He was just dealing with absolute shite.
True.
He was having to play teenagers week in, week out.
True.
And I feel, and I'm not putting these on the same pedestal, I feel FARKE's dealing with crap as well. I really do.
I think he could adapt a lot more. And I think that'd give us a chance. I think us playing in the opposition half would give us a lot more of a chance.
And I
Like,
don't disagree. I do not
obviously.
disagree. And this is the only reason why I'm torn is because we're where we want to be currently. Would my situation change as if we get to the middle of December and we're 19th? Probably.
Is it not worrying for you though that when me and you have spoken, right? We've said, right, we need to get something against Brighton. We need to get 3 points against Burnley. Forest is a must not lose. None of these things have happened. And is that not worrying
And
in
we're
a sense?
still 16th. We're not the only ones that are turd, by the way. I mean, I watched Wolves on Saturday night. Good God. Good God. We're not alone in being crap.
I think right now, if it continues the way we're going, we are going straight back down to the Championship. That's what I think.
Yeah. I can't argue with there's nothing right now that's really to grasp on to disagree with that.
You just lay it as different blame, don't you?
I do.
Yeah.
There's blame there, definitely. I feel like in the summer, all they were asked about was Rangers.
Okay. I didn't expect you to go down that route.
In my opinion, the ground getting redone, which has got no chance of getting done if we're in the Championship.
Mm.
I don't know. I mean, and this isn't taking anything away from Calvert-Lewin on a Metro, but when you go into the Premier League, you can't go into it with 2 free transfers up top. You just say it out loud. Our strikers were free transfers.
100 grand a week though, one of them. It's a bit of a stamp down.
Everybody's on 100 grand a week in Premier League, mate.
I don't think Zian Fleming is.
They want a free transfer either.
I think how I look. I know we disagree, mate, and we always come on here and because we're mates and we're not Neanderthals, we can talk about it. But I think there is a way of which we've recruited. Which when you look at DCL, when you look at Metcha, there is a specific way and a route of playing that Leeds were trying to do at the very beginning of the season. I think they've kind of moved away from this sort of like maybe I mean, you're not going to get a goal scorer in number 9 because they won't be playing for bloody Leeds United, but you'd be going out.
I don't know. Right. So I think I'm annoyed as well because last time we went up, we finished 9th, and we had Radrazani didn't back Bielsa one bit. I remember playing Arsenal at home, and we had Bate, McLaren, players that people probably don't even know anymore.
Yeah.
Sonny Perkins. I think he's at Leyton Orient or wherever. Like, that was what he was dealing with. We go up again. I just feel like we're chancing. Well, I can remember last season actually in the Championship, we got to January, and I could be completely wrong, but I'm sure me and you had the discussion that we were gambling on going up. We didn't spend anything.
Yeah, January.
It felt like it was a huge gamble and a chance that they were playing off, and I feel like they're doing it again. I feel like we've gone up and we've spent, in relative terms, next to nothing in the Premier League. That's why I'm so torn on where there's blame definitely to lie, and FARKE gets some of it, absolutely. But I think I'm in the camp of more blame elsewhere. They can share it between them. How's that for an answer? They can share the blame between them. But
so from your perspective, there's theoretically then no way this squad is good enough to stay up then, unless like no one else would get a better tune than Daniel Farke in world football.
I've seemed to recall, and I'll go through our shows, we've both said that our squad is bottom 3.
I think the squad is good enough to stay up, but I think it's a genuine bottom basement squad. I think it's, and I know what you're going to say. I know what the follow-up's going to be. You've said it 3 or 4 times, but I think it's good enough. I think it's a battler with the bottom 5, and I think there's a way of which Leeds United as a squad can go to Forest and nick a point, can probably, on a good day, and if Brighton are a little bit of an off day with 7 injuries, by the way, that they had, and they played Arsenal midweek and half of them played, we can go there and get a point. We can get 3 points against Burnley. I think there is a way of, or a point against Burnley, there's a way of which Leeds United, and I know what you're going to say, Leeds are in 16th now. I get that.
No, I wasn't going to say that. I was going to say,
I
how
don't.
many of them Brighton players would you take? How many of them Brighton players get into our team?
Well, what are you asking there then? What are you
I'm
asking?
Give me a number. How many of them Brighton players? And you're telling me we should go and get a point. How many of them Brighton players would you take? Because I'd probably take 11.
Yeah, but when we were in the Championship, I'm sure Wigan had taken all of our 11 players and they beat us at Ellen Road.
Got 100 points, mate, and that was with Melier.
I think that was before.
Chucking goals in like every other week.
That was Bielsa season, actually. But
no, the 2-1, yeah, the Wigan team.
Yeah,
I disagree. By the way,
what do you mean?
That Bielsa team, when Bielsa took over, that wasn't.
Yeah, but
that wasn't a good team.
But the whole point is that I think you can design teams in really tough games to at least play to your strengths, Brownie. To at least play with the strengths that we're playing toward right now. We don't have them. Play to at least that relative strength we recruited for. We recruited for a certain way of playing.
Something needs to change away from home. Something, but I said that in the Championship. I remember saying that in the Championship. We need to play a different way away from home. I don't know, mate. I just okay. So you got 92% saying FARKE, and I'm not saying they're wrong. I'm not saying they're wrong at all.
That's not representative of all Leeds fans, by the way. It's just
Who comes in? Give me some names.
That's like you going to work doing a shit job.
It's not, because football's different. But I've seen this. I've seen this argument all afternoon. It's not like going to work, because you can get anybody to come in and do your job.
Got to be good though.
You can, if a postman didn't deliver his letters, you can get anybody to go and be a postman. Right? It's not. It's different.
You can't get someone to be a CEO though. CEO of a top company, top upper echelon.
I don't know. I'm sure there's a lot more of them. I'm sure there's a lot more of them than Premier League football managers, because there's only 22. So come on, I want names. I want names.
I'm not saying
takes Leeds. Who gets more points against Villa, Liverpool? Because this is what they're going to have to deal with. The 49ers.
Are you asking the chat or me?
In charge. Anyone. Because I just want to honestly, like.
We got some you got some names in the chat here.
I bet I'll hear Carlos Carbon, who's having a stinker with Valencia. I'll hear all sorts.
I don't think you'll hear Carbon. I don't think someone's asked about you. Rafinha. Someone said
Rafinha, who couldn't even get Hull out of the Championship. This is what. And the other thing, if we went down, there's only one person I want in charge.
Terzic, Motta. A lot of people saying Motta.
Go on. So, what credentials has Motta got?
I think he's probably a little bit. Well, are you talking about credentials as in like accolades?
What would he do to this team? What would he change?
I think notoriously he's a little bit more adaptable. He can play with a varied system, and I think with this Leeds United teams, he's probably proven before with the teams that he's been with that he would adapt.
Maybe I'm just a little bit scared of it, because like last time we changed from Bielsa, we went from Marsh to Grazia to Allardyce.
Well, can I say something as well when it comes, because obviously when you look at someone like Motta, who's unbelievable for Bologna, wasn't he? Champions League and all that sort of stuff. But I'm probably the other way to you, right? But
it could get any worse.
I'm a little bit like. I think I'm a little bit like fearful in a sense as well, because it's strange, because me and you are coming from different perspectives, but I'm
feeling the same thing.
Yeah.
The same thing.
Yeah, and I'm like,
maybe I don't trust the 49ers to get it right.
I don't.
We're forgetting that the 49ers put Russell Martin in charge, by the way.
Yeah. I mean, obviously that was Prague's. I think Prague's like vice president up there, and it's led by Kavanagh, who's the main guy over there. So it's not fully the 49ers, but they have a massive hand in. They have a massive hand in it with Prague, etc. And Prague's a big part of our board, so there would be decisions made by part and part the 49ers. But yeah, that was when I was looking at what was going on with Rangers, I was looking at that whole scenario, that panicked the absolute life out of me. And I agree with you. I do think to myself, there's been a level of like ruthlessness where I look at the 49ers and think, I am not convinced about. But Brownie, what I'd say as well is,
I've seen what
go
they've
on.
signed as well. Sorry, mate. I've seen what they've signed. Perry, not good enough. Borneo, what was the point of him? I'd rather have Bono. Like, he's never going to play football. What was the point of spending all that money on him?
Yeah, what was he, 5 mil?
It was more than that.
Was he?
Sure, he was.
Might have been. Let us know in the chat. You're gonna go to James Justin, aren't you? Or Justin James?
I could go through them all that we've signed.
I think
people keep giving Okafor ticks every game. Is that just because the others look so bad? Because they're comparing him to Aronson on the other side. He looks more fretful, if that's even a word. You know where my head's at after today, like, honestly.
Yeah.
God.
Should get through a couple of nice comments. Jay says, I think we're cooked. Bottom three seems obvious. Daniel says, sack Farke. Now he's completely out of his depth in the Premier League and replace him with former Reading manager and former Leeds player Noel Hunt, in my opinion, as this situation suits him a lot more. I think Daniel's taking the mic there. Cheers, Daniel. Big Stat Meal says, said at halftime that Forest will win this off the bench, and that's exactly what happened. Problem is Farke is too reactive than proactive. Big Joe. I think there's something there, Brownie. It did make me laugh when Forest made 3 changes, and then like 2 minutes later, Farke brings on 3 changes. I'm like, oh God.
Not like looking over like that Mr. Bean gif where he's copying the thing. That looks a good idea.
It's
Yeah.
like copying that guy's the guy or girl's just like you're in that exam and you're there like that, just having a look at their paper. Stack should have played versus Brighton. Ow should have played today. Yeah, Reese says, evening lads. Thoughts on getting rid of Farke and bringing Brendan Rodgers in? We need a manager with. Reese, I would go against Brendan Rodgers. Not for me, mate. Nah, not all. I think Rodgers needs a bit of a break from the game. Chris Kingy says as well, Farke 1 point per game. Marsh 1.3 or 0.3 points per game. Enough said.
1 point what?
1 point. Sorry, it was 1
so
point.
Marsh has got a better point per game than
Farke. Yeah. There you go. How's that made you feel?
Over how many games?
I don't know.
Over his first 11.
Presumably, yeah. Well, you're right. You're trying to work something out.
I just recall when Marsh came in, was getting absolutely spanked by Villa at home. Fist pumping the crowd after getting battered 4-0 by City. I just seem to recall as just getting hammered every week.
Okay, so here's a question then. You know, you've mentioned the fact that you wouldn't do it like with Farke, let's say after the next 4 or 5 games.
No. I didn't say I wouldn't do it after the next 4 or 5. I said I don't see the point of a corner flag picture tonight.
So, okay. So when would you think? Then it's. I mean, the likelihood is we lose all of these games, right? But that is the likelihood. But I also look at it and think, can we nick something against Chelsea or maybe Liverpool a point? Brownie, we're gonna have to. Hey, Sunderland can do it. Can we not at least put in a little bit of intention to?
Sunderland spent nearly double the amount we did.
Yeah, well, they sold 2 players of which gave them that, and they had PSR restraints that weren't there. They've not been in the Premier League.
This is another nonsense. Where do our PSR restraints come from? Because all I see is ever doing is selling.
Well, yeah, obviously there was a 3-year cycle, wasn't there? So that has to take into consideration.
We took a lot of money in. A lot.
Yeah, so it's year on year, innit? Yeah. But yeah.
Well, last summer you're talking Gray 50, Somerville 30 odd. I think we took in nearly 150 million last summer.
Yeah.
The next month looks bleak, doesn't it?
Yeah, I know you were laughing then, but I mean, look, you look at Bournemouth and how brilliant Bournemouth have been this season. We've took something of Newcastle. We're very close to taking something from Spurs. Brownie, at some point, we've got to get something. We've got to get stuff from the big boys. Otherwise, we're just losing every single game. And I think that's ridiculous. I think you've got to be able to adapt to look. Let's make it difficult. Sit in, make it difficult.
I agree. I don't disagree with you, mate. I really don't. I completely agree. But then we're exactly where we'd want to be.
Yeah, and can I just say as well,
This is
like,
the confusing bit. Like,
but you look at Burnley up against Liverpool, and yeah, they only lost 0-1, but they were in the game. Man United, they lost
how many
3-2.
bonus points did they get for that?
But they're in the games, mate.
But
They're
did
in
they
the
get any points
games.
for it?
Well,
No,
I don't think they'll
no,
go
they
to.
didn't. They
But
didn't. They got no
but
points.
but the
I
pot.
heard this. I heard this. I saw tweets last night. Oh, at least Wolves are in the game. They're giving Chelsea a good game. We got beat 3-0.
Look, I guess done that point the argument as well at Brighton when you were talking about 1-0 and we could have
Yeah,
scored and we didn't. We
we
lost
made the
3-0.
changes. We made the changes and got beat. Our squad's just not good enough. Whenever we can't make our team better with substitutions.
Can the
Other teams
manager
try.
can the manager make it better with the style of play?
Probably.
Mm.
Probably. I'm not saying Farke is blameless in the slightest. Not at all.
In the
Not
slightest.
not at all. Not at all. I'm just saying, and this isn't to keep Farke in. I'm saying if you were to change the manager now and bring someone in, all the best, all the best for the next four. Like honestly, you're just setting him up to be hounded out within a
Well,
month.
that would be the problem. But when I guess that would be the problem. You're right. The optics perspective from like
Would you want to take job? I'm going to go meet Leeds United. What's your first four games? Villa, City, Chelsea, Liverpool. Nah, you're all right, mate. I'll see you in January.
yeah, and I know what you mean, but I guess if you're looking at that from an optics perspective, I think you've nailed it there as well. Like the whole January thing. If they were to bring a couple of players in, if there was an adaptation to the style of play, Brownie, right now, I'll be honest with you, in terms of how the form is, I don't think we'd be losing that much. I don't think there'd be that much difference. And at least there might be something a little bit different right now with the new gaff. There's nothing that we're getting from this team as of right now. It is on a downward trajectory. So there's not, what would we be losing? It's not, do you know what I mean? That's kind of, you just get the exact same thing going, Farke could have got these points. That's all you get online. That's, you know what it's like with Bielsa and
So, I
Marsh.
mean,
It was like,
he
Bielsa had
can't,
done that.
and I think that's just the world we live in it? Social
Yeah.
media, like he can't win. Bizarrely, when we went 1-0 up today, there'll be Farke out fans that will have been disappointed.
Yeah, that's sad. No, I
And
can't. I can't. I
that
can't be
is,
like that. Yeah.
and then I'll rephrase that. Not disappointed, won't have tweeted. They'll have tweeted when we went 2-1 down.
Yeah. I think, to be honest, Brownie, I think a lot of that's just frustration. I think it's anger. I think
That's
it's
what
just,
I mean. It's the world we live in. Like,
yeah.
I'm the same. Another goal conceded from a header inside our 6-yard box. We're meant to be this physical team. We're meant to have this head on a brick. We're meant to have the Welsh wall. Who sat on it Humpty Dumpty because it's constantly, there's no wall ever there.
But that, yeah, and I guess the grass, the grass can be greener on the other side. It can be at points, and I guess away from home, he's got to start adapting. He's got to start doing things differently, mate, because it's just insanity at the minute. It's just I can't understand
I think
it.
he'll die on the Harrison Hill.
Is that the combination of them both?
He
Harrison.
he can't persist. And people go, "Oh, he got an assist today." No, he passed the ball 3 yards.
It was all Metcha, wasn't it? It was all
Yeah,
Metcha, that.
like,
Yeah.
and then other week, oh, he scored. No, he nearly missed from 2 yards.
Yeah.
Like, we're talking about our winger, and this is the other thing that annoys me, and like where I go back to Radrazani and the 49ers, and maybe I'm tunnel visioned on the ownership. We had 2 players on the pitch today that got relegated 3 years ago. I don't get how they weren't good enough 3 years ago. Why are we still persisting with them? In Jack Harrison and Brendan Aronson. We went down last time, they were in our squad. Yeah, where we are 3 years later, still using them.
So can we agree that there's evidently something going on with Nonso? Evidently.
I don't know. I mean, in the press conference, it said he'd been back on the grass for 2 weeks, didn't it? I don't know.
That was a while. He said he's fit.
He said on Thursday, didn't he?
He said it. They said it 2 weeks ago. Said he was fit. So he's not picking him. He's not having him in the squad. And you're talking about Harrison and Aronson as well. This is what, and you see Harris die by your decisions, don't you? And you see
Of course
that
you do.
absolute. When I saw his face and he was looking up at the sky again after he gave the penalty away, and I'm like, Connor, you're on stream. I
I
don't know
know,
what.
mate, but I'm not having. I genuinely think he's tricked himself up.
I know, but he got. Let's be honest. Amari Hutchinson cooked him about 3 times, and you're thinking, what's going on here? What's happening?
It was odd. It was odd, Goodmanson coming off and putting him on. Bit like last week, he took Bogle off and put James on. It just feels like I'm just putting people on just so they've kicked a football for the week. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Right. Should we leave it there and go to bed and send each other loving messages so we can go to sleep? Oh God. Well, guys, it's November the 9th. We've got a 2-week international break.
I've never looked forward to an international break so much in my life.
Mate, this is the worst thing now. You know, I've told you before where they all go. They're all going to go now. Nobody's going to be interested in Leeds content. Oh, God.
But the thing is, though, normally like, oh, I can't be doing it. It's so nice. No stress for 2 weeks.
Yeah. Yeah.
2 more weeks have not been in the bottom 3.
That's it. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. There we go. Well, guys, listen, that's why I love bringing Brownie on. Absolutely love bringing Brownie on because I think it's brilliant to get a different side of it. I think it's good to get a different perspective on it. We always try and encourage that over here, and that's why we've had this beautiful man on for the best part of 4 or 5 years now as well. Thank you so much, everybody. Let us know what side you're on. Keep it respectful. Look, whatever side you lie on, it's fine.
We're all on the same side.
We're all on the same side.
We're all on the same
of course
side.
We are. Of course we are. We all hurt for Leeds, and it is what it is. And people
I think it is inevitable, and I'm not saying the 92% are wrong. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just.
No, you're saying they're right, technically.
Yeah, I think he's been massively let down.
Okay, fair enough.
and I don't. From what we've signed, I don't trust him to get it right.
Yeah, I know. Oh well, mate. Anything to sign off on? What you're doing this evening? Just going to bed?
not watching Match of the Day
again. Oh God, it'd be nice to watch it again, wouldn't it? But guys, let us know what you think in the comment section. We'll keep it respectful, as I've said. My name's Conor Brownie. That's David Brown, and we'll see you on the other side.